Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and this might be my last video about Last Night on Earth. We've already destroyed 2 zombie spawning points. The nurse Becky was killed during the last video in quite a ridiculous way, and we have to find the last explosive, and because I had a card that allowed me to search through this deck, I know that there is another just what I needed card which would allow me to draw a card from the discard pile. So there definitely is a way to find the last explosive. On the other hand, there is now always this threat that the zombie draws a card which allows him to force me to discard about 10 cards or so from the hero deck. If this should happen, I've lost the game. There was a post about something I'm also not so sure of. It's part of this scenario here. It says, to destroy a zombie spawning pit, a hero must start in the space, give up their turn, and discard an explosive. The hero must survive any zombie fights in their space before the pit is destroyed. So for me it wasn't so clear. If the hero must give up the turn, do they also lose this fight part of their turn? Because that means they wouldn't have to fight against the zombies. Or do they have to do this? I mean, it's written here they must survive any zombie fights in their space. So there seem to be fights, there seem to be that it's possible that there are fights in that space. So I'm absolutely not sure what that means. Maybe that says that it's still the next turn that counts, the next zombie turn that counts, that they have to survive these attacks before the pit is destroyed. But I don't know that for sure. Maybe one of you does. Okay. So now it's the zombies, and the soundtrack moves. We've got 6 turns remaining, and the zombies draw 1 card. And it says, my god, he's a zombie. Play to cancel any townsfolk event card on the roll of 4 or higher. Play at the start of a zombie turn to place the zombie from your zombie pool in any space adjacent to a hero. Okay. And then we roll to spawn new zombies. There are now 3, 6, 8 zombies on the board, so we need a 9. And that's a 7. And then we're allowed to move the zombies. So they move here. That one comes here. They move in here. That one moves here. And that guy moves here. And this one moves here. And then we have some fighting. First down here, it's once again Johnny with his hedge trimmer. Oh, and I forgot. I he found this first aid kit last turn, but he's only allowed to have 3 items because the hedge trimmer is a double-handed weapon. So he has to discard 1 item, and that will be Old Betsy. Okay, and Johnny is allowed to roll 4 dice because the hedge trimmer gives him an additional dice per zombie on the same space. And let's see, the first zombie, well actually there are 2 fights for the zombies, so I roll with 2 dice if one of them is allowed to draw an extra fight card. Oh, that's a double 6, so both zombies can draw extra fight cards. So for the first fight, it says Undead Hate the Living. Play this card to hate a hero, forcing them to reroll any number of their fight dice. So let's see, this could be dangerous. Okay, that isn't dangerous at all. Not until now. The zombie has a 3. He's got 2 doubles. That would be enough to kill the zombie twice. He just cuts him in pieces. So he forces him to roll all of them once again, and still double 5. So the zombie is killed. And then it's the next fight, and we draw another fight card, and that says Work. Play this card to let a zombie roll 2 extra fight dice. Well, that's tough. And Johnny is now only allowed to roll 3 dice because there's 1 less zombie in this space. So they are both allowed now to roll 3 fight dice. That could become dangerous. And well, he's got that double 6. The zombie also has a 6, but because Johnny wins on tie, again, he killed the zombie. Johnny is amazing. He's completely out of control. Okay, and then we have more fights here. So first, Victor fights a zombie, and this time it's a 1, so no extra card for the zombies. So it's just 2 dice against 1. And also Victor, he rolled a double 6, amazing. And then it's Jade. She's got an extra dice because of her rebellious ability. Let's see first if the zombie is allowed to draw a card. Nope. And she also wins. But she didn't fend off, she just fended off the zombie. She didn't kill him. Okay. So that was quite a successful turn for the heroes. And now I forgot that. Bitten, play this card on a hero when they kill a zombie in a fight. The next time the hero would be wounded, instead the zombies, they are returned to the hero. they are turned into a zombie hero. So this card is now played on Victor. He killed the zombie, so he was bitten during this action, and if he's wounded again, he is no longer human. Okay, so now it's the heroes. No, before it's the heroes, I have to test if this guy explodes. And that's a 6, so he does. He explodes, but there is nothing in his area. So let's see, he simply dies. The zombie explodes. Any other zombies? Any hero? No, it's just he dies and that's it. Okay. So that was quite a bloody turn. There are now just 4 zombies left on the board. And let's see. So the heroes start, and let's start with Raquel. She's got a 6. That's really good. And she draws a survival tactics card. She's here in the supermarket. And that says, go for the head. Any zombie beaten in a fight where the hero rolled at least 1 6 is killed, even if no doubles were rolled. Well, that's a strong card. That is amazing, and I have to remember that. So, just a fantastic card. And then she's allowed to draw another card from the hero deck. Hero's Rage. Play on any hero that has 2 or more zombies in their space. Until the start of the next hero turn, that hero rolls an extra fight dice and kills any zombie beaten in a fight, even if no doubles were rolled. Well, that's also a great card, but we need to find the explosives. So now she uses the flashlight. When searching, the hero may use the flashlight to discard the card just drawn and draw a new one. So that's what she does. And that is Jeb, the Grease Monkey. Immediately cancel any zombie card or add 1 extra fight dice to a hero for the rest of the turn. Okay, that's not exactly what we wanted, but it's a good card anyway. And then she has to roll a d6. On a 1, she has to discard the flashlight. That's a 6. Then she shoots at this guy with a revolver. And that's a 3. And because of this laying down the law card, which gives her a +1, that was a hit. So the zombie is killed. And that was Raquel's turn. And then it's Johnny, and well, he also searches probably, but first I roll for the movement. That's a 5. But yeah, he simply searches the hero deck. And that is Get Back, You Devils. Play to kill any zombie beaten in a fight, even if no doubles were rolled. Okay. And, well, let me see. It's Jade then. And, well, she also searches, I guess. That's a 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She can carry up to 7 cards. So she will actually draw a unique item. And that's Sam's dog tags. During a fight, the hero may take a wound to instantly kill the zombie they are fighting on the d6 roll of a 2. After you choose roll a d6, discard on the roll of 1 or 2. If Sam has this item, only discard it on the roll of 1. Okay, that's an interesting card. She can take a wound and then she can heal because she's youth. So it might be a good decision to do that. Yeah. But it's a little risky. And, well, that was a search action on the unique item deck, and then she's allowed to draw from the hero deck. And finally, we found that thing. Just what I needed. Play immediately. Take any card from the hero card's discard pile. Okay. And this time I'm gonna take an explosive. Okay, and that's an event card. So I think it doesn't say that I'm not sure if I have to give that card now to her, or if I can take the card and give it to any player. But I think thematically it makes sense to give it to her if it's an item. So yeah. So I give this to her now, and well, now she has to make it to one of these last 2 spawning pits. There are 5 turns remaining. Let's hope she can make it. And then it's let's see, it's Victor. No, just a second. She now has to fight that zombie, the remaining zombie here. But I think what I can do to win some time, I can now play this card here, Plan B. It's a survival tactics card. Play to cancel any fight and immediately move that hero up to d6 spaces. So I'm wondering if I should do that. I think it's a good idea that... So I cancel the fight and then I move the hero. That's just 2 spaces. So I wasn't really lucky here. So it's just 1, 2. Okay, and then it's Victor. And, well, he might actually search, or he could move away. Maybe it's better to move away now. So he rolls, he also has a 2, so he moves here, 1, 2. That's good because he could be healed by Jade. And, well, that was his turn, and that was the zombie, the hero's turn then. So at the end now, Jade can use Doc Brody's medical bag to heal Victor. And that's it. Okay, it's a zombie turn now, and he plays, my god, he's a zombie. Play to cancel any townsfolk event card on the roll of 4. Play at the start of a zombie turn to place a zombie from your zombie pool in any space adjacent to a hero. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna try to block here the exit, and I'm gonna place that zombie here. Nah, I'm not sure. Doesn't make too much sense actually. But I don't know what else to do. I mean, yeah. Maybe I'm lucky. The problem is that Victor can protect her all the time, so she doesn't really have to fight that zombie, but whatever. So now we have we move the soundtrack marker, so it goes down, and then we're allowed to draw zombie cards. 2 actually. One says Twisted Ankle. Play this card on any hero when they roll a 1 for movement. Okay, that hero must now subtract 1 from their movement die rolls. And then this says Loner. Play at the start of a zombie turn on any hero. That hero may not end their move action in the same space as another hero. Okay. And then we roll to draw new zombies, to spawn new zombies. And there are now just 4 zombies on the board, so I think we have a good chance to do that. That's 9. So we're definitely allowed to spawn new zombies. And we move them. One goes here, the other one attacks. This guy also attacks. And now I got this rule for zombie movement. And if there are just 2 targets left, and this is the case, there's this target and that one, so well, in a way there is just 1 target left now for the heroes. If there are just 2 targets left and a target is closer to a zombie than the closest hero, then this zombie doesn't move to a hero, but he kind of guards the target. So this is the case here, and in this way the zombie simply moves back to the target and tries to prevent Jade from blowing this up in some later turns. And well, that was the zombie movement. Now we come to the fights. First here, and well, Jade is actually a good fighter, so she's allowed to take 3 dice. Let's roll for the zombie card. That's just a 4. So it's 3 dice against 1. And that wasn't good enough. That's 1, 3, 4, 5. So that's a problem. Just wonder if there's anything I can do. Nope. That's bad. So I take a wound. I mean, the thing is, I could normally I could use this youth ability to heal, The problem is I have to give up a move action then. And there are just 5 turns left, so I'm not so sure if I should do that, if I should risk that. I mean, I need to start here in a turn, so I only have 4 turns left to get to this spawning pit. So there is some risk involved, actually. So, and then it's the fight down here. And we have again Johnny with 3 dice and the zombie. Well, this time the zombie he's got a sickle and he's a little stronger now. He rolls an extra fight dice and he can force the hero to re-roll one of their fight dice. So that's a strong zombie. So let's see. And well, it's twice a 5. So, but Johnny wins on ties. So in this case, it's not a problem, but at least he can force to re-roll one of these fight dice. So the zombie would not be killed. And that's a 1. So exactly, the zombie is fended off, but he's not killed. Okay. So that was the fighting, and then we spawn new zombies. 3 new zombies. I think I'm gonna spawn 1 here and the other 2 here. So let's see. Well, that's a normal zombie that spawns here. And here we have also a normal one. And that's a 10. On a 9 or 10, it's a zombie with a grave weapon. So it's once again a zombie with a stench of death. Every hero within 2 spaces of the zombie rolls 1 less fight dice than normal, minimum of 1. Okay, so that means now I take, well, let me see. I take this miniature to represent this guy, and he starts here. Okay. So let's see, now it's the heroes again, and but first I have to make this decision about Jade. And the problem is, she can't exchange items with Victor because of this I don't trust them thing. But I think about it, that it might be a good idea to... I could play at last. That would allow me to... That would allow me to cancel this I don't trust them card. I think I'm gonna do that. So that's at last. And then I can cancel this card. On the other hand, there is this bidden. It's dangerous. If I give him the explosive, he might turn into a zombie hero. So that's also pretty dangerous. No, I'm not gonna do that. I could cancel both cards, but I got this card here, Jeb, the Grease Monkey. Immediately cancel any zombie card, but on the other hand, that's a very powerful card and I might need that. For example, if there is some card that says you have to discard 10 cards from your hero decks, otherwise you lose, so it might be a good idea to have this card for a case like that. So I think Jade simply moves on. Let's see, that's a 6. So yeah, I think now I'm gonna move with her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And maybe I spend my next turn to heal and then go there. That might be good enough then. Okay, and then it's, let me see, just checking the cards here. Well, actually what I'm gonna do now, I think that's a funny idea. I'm gonna use this card. Use the sewers. Play at any time to place corresponding sewer markers in any 2 outdoor spaces on the board. Models may move between these using the sewer rules. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna place one of the sewers here and the other one I place right on the spawning point here. And then we have here the sewer space, and that's now what kind of an additional space. You can now enter here, that's 1, and then you move to this space here, that's 2, and then you can come out here 3. So in this way I can now move Johnny to these guys, and with his hedge trimmer, and well, he's pretty tough. He's tough, and I think he can really help her fighting all these zombies. So that's why I did that. Okay, so now I'm gonna move him, and I roll, and that's exactly a 3. So that's pretty cool. So he now moves 1, 2, and 3. Comes out right here at the spawning pit. And now we can do some fighting, and so, he's allowed to roll 4 dice. Let's roll for the zombie. Actually, just a second, there is this special, the stench of death. So he's only allowed to, he's allowed to roll 1 less fight dice. So he just can roll 3 dice. And the zombie actually can draw a special card, and that's again Undead Hate the Living. Play this card to hate a hero, forcing them to re-roll any number of their fight dice. Well, let's see if it's still good enough. So we roll here, and well, this time it wasn't so good. It's just a 5 against a 4, and then I can re-roll this. Let's see what we have. And that's a 6. So that's pretty good, and that's enough to fend off this guy. And now, go for the head. Any zombie beaten in a fight where the heroes rolled at least 1 6 is killed. So this is the case. So this special zombie here is killed. I knew Johnny would make this. And then he has to fight the other one. And again he has 3 dice. And then, let's see. And this time, easy. 2 6s. This guy is so great. He killed the second one. So he's just standing here on the spawning pit and, well, just keeping the place clean with his hedge trimmer. And then we have Raquel. And that's a 5. So she could now leave that building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and also try to help them here. And it's then Victor. He rolls a 1, which is definitely not that good. And, well, okay, he simply moves here, I guess. So that's it. That was the zombie turn. Okay, I think I'm gonna load this up here. It seems now pretty clear who's winning, but I think it will take, well, maybe 2 or 3 more turns, and I'm gonna do this in one last video then. So yeah, as I said, I think now Johnny has the situation here pretty much under control, so there should be enough time for her to go to the spawning pit and destroy that thing. Even if there would be a card which forces me to discard cards from the hero deck, we have this card here which allowed me to cancel this card. So right now I see no real danger how the heroes could lose this game. Okay, so I hope you're still interested in the last video, and I'm gonna see you then. Bye.